All right, welcome to another episode of Wicked Friggin Heavy. I'm sitting here with Ethan.
What's up? Welcome back to the greatest city on earth, aka Biddeford. Yeah, so this building used to be called, I think it still is called the Glove Factory. What you see behind us is where one of the liner note pictures for Gumskab Cut Your Teeth was taking place. You can see a collection of band names that are our homies up here. Nick Coggins did a bunch of artwork for that picture. We will insert that picture here. And you'll see all of our homies, big Cut Your Teeth, Gumskab. It was a really fun day before we had a show at Sacred Profane. Wanted to get as many friends here that have been a part of building SVU, Biddeford, Southern Maine hardcore involved, because it's not one band, it's not one person. It is a giant community of all of us that make this shit possible and make it so much fun to do.
Yeah, hell yeah. So we got Trevor's side. So now I want to hear your side. How did you kind of like start in Biddeford? How did SVU come together?
Yeah, it all comes back to Nick Gary from Mancala. The man is a fucking legend, absolute goated individual. He started booking shows in Biddeford, and I ran into him one day. He was wearing some sort of band shirt, and I looked at him and I was like, I like this guy. We're going to become homies. Found out he was booking shows here. First show was a Tuesday night, sold out, and I remember talking to him outside and just being like, we can do more with this. This is a really, really special thing that you started here. Let's take it and run with it. And we started having bands like Infernal Diatribe and Gumskab and Mancala that were wanting to play shows closer to where we all lived outside of Portland. Found Sacred Profane, were able to do stuff there, which then led to bands from out of state wanting to come and play here, seeing a really good crowd, really good energy, great community, and just thinking, shit, I want to be a part of that. So we started booking more and more bands, and I kind of swept in and used the attention that Gumskab was getting to start bringing as many homies here, traveling, touring, just coming up from Massachusetts or whatever to come and experience Biddeford hardcore, this fresh new thing that we were building that kind of was an ode to everything that we grew up in, you know, no bullshit, no egos, just aggressive music, caring about each other, high energy for the sake of doing it, and that's it.
Yeah, like you were saying before, and like, you know, we've kind of been learning through this whole show, like hardcore seems to be more than just a genre of music. It's a way of life, basically, right?
It's an ethos. It's not just loud music to beat people up to. It's really about building and caring for a community of people that otherwise may not have an outlet to let that aggression out, or may not feel safe in other aspects of their life. And we were able to facilitate this spot that you can come and you're welcome here. And that, you know, is rooted in how I was raised in Vermont, and just a spot for, you know, anybody who can be a decent human being. You're welcome here. Big attention to trying to like make the marginalized people in our communities feel safe and welcome in a world that is actively trying to make that not the case for them.
Tell us a little bit about the Vermont scene, because that's kind of where you started, right?
Yeah, I was born and raised in Berlin, Vermont. I grew up being a part of the Burlington, Vermont hardcore scene. I started playing guitar when I was in like 5th grade. I think I started booking shows at local churches when I was in 7th grade. My parents were both rockers, still are, and they signed forms for me as a teenager to rent out local churches to get my friends' bands to play. And it's just same idea as I was saying before, a safe space for people to come and let out that positive aggression, Vermont, very similar to Maine in the sense that there isn't always big touring bands coming through. It's kind of like a C or D spot for a lot of people. So the communities are very focused on looking out for each other. The bands are always supporting each other. It's never pitting bands against each other. Everyone's trying to help each other out. And with small spaces like that don't necessarily have national attention, if we can build each other up, it's only going to draw the attention that we're seeing come to Biddeford. And Burlington, Vermont's having a nice renaissance as well. Northern Corridor booking, Eli, the fucking man. They're doing really cool shit up there. I know like Haywire and Missing Link played up there recently. They're getting a lot of touring bands coming through. They're doing the same thing we got going on here, just a couple states away, and it makes me really proud to see how I was raised in Vermont still being there after places like 242 and Oddfellows Temple are no longer doing things. To see that next generation carrying the torch and making hardcore alive and well in places where people wouldn't think it would be is really cool.
Yeah, right? Lots of people don't know what's going on, which is kind of the reason we're out here doing this, because people should know what's going on. And you were saying, like before we started, like shooting today, that the scenes take care of each other, right? So like whenever you go down to Vermont, it's like everyone shows up, right?
Absolutely.
Same kind of thing here.
It's really neat because there are places where, like I said earlier, there aren't a lot of touring bands coming through, and we all recognize that with each other. And I mean, New England is so small that most of the people playing in New England know each other, have known each other from previous bands for years. Like the guys in Outnumbered, they were my old heads growing up. So bringing them here is always a really special thing. And I know Peacebreaker played up in Burlington with them like a month ago, and it went off. And it's really just about bringing that attention and hyping each other's scenes up, because we're all one and the fucking same, We're all losers. We're all weirdos. None of us really fit in anywhere until we found this beautiful thing. So it's really important that we're all taking care of each other. And the Vermont hardcore, Maine hardcore pipeline is a really, really special thing.
Yeah, that's awesome. So not only are you in SVU, you're also in multiple other bands, right? You're officially in Peacebreaker now.
Yes, officially.
Peacebreaker, I'm coming for you next season.
Buckle up, boys.
Yeah.
Yeah, I recently started playing bass full-time for Peacebreaker. I love those guys. For the first time ever, I'm the young guy in the band, which fucking rocks. Normally, I'm the old person. So thanks for being old. And I've been having a lot of fun with that. Very much rock and roll influenced hardcore stuff like the Suicide File, which I absolutely fucking love. We're getting ready to record a new EP in the next couple months. Bunch of tracks they had written already that they showed me. They absolutely rock. I can't wait to get in the studio with those, maybe throw, a couple ideas around, and then we're going to just keep playing shows. I'm going to start writing shit with them and see where that goes,
Sick. Also, Mortar, you've played with a couple of times, right?
Yeah. Mortar fits the bill of the collective SVU style that we have done in other projects where bands are playing a lot of shows and everyone's got to live a life. So sometimes, each person can't make every single show, and we're lucky enough to have enough people between, Trevor and I and a handful of other individuals that if X member can't make it, you've got someone who knows the songs and can jump in and do that. So I know, I played bass with them. I think, around November, December, one of them's going to be having a kid. So I'll probably be jumping in to guitar for them for any of those shows they have then. They're in the process of recording an EP with Trevor, of course. And that shit's going to fucking rock.
Yeah. I heard some clips of that. It already sounds insane. And then, I guess before all of that was Gumskab, right, for you? And Secret Work as well.
100%, yeah. Two wonderful projects that I'm absolutely blessed to have been a part of. Gumskab started with Ryan, Nick, and John writing and recording the whole demo. Like Trevor said in the last episode, Ryan hit me up and was like, hey, do you want to play in this band? We have a show with Koyo. Doesn't quite line up sound-wise, but I was like, yeah, I'll definitely do it. And then from there, it was just like, this there's something really cool going on here. And we went to work, just played. I think the 2 years we were active, it was something around 50-ish shows per year. Put out a bunch of music, got to travel a bunch, and then started Secret Work just because I had a really shitty day at work one day. And I went home and I was like, Trevor, I want to write and record really fast, pissed off punk music. And we tracked the first song, Stolen Hands, that night. Face to face with your reality, brutal ideology of privilege, nepotistic, living on wages built to equate their worth with where they live, who they love, the color of their skin. And then just kind of kept going, and that took off and had a really awesome run. Got to do a couple little weekend runs with them and Gumskab and The Boys Hate Still Burns / The Blind. I love you. I miss you. I can't wait to see you soon. And it was just really, really fun to be able to use those two bands as part of the building blocks of what Biddeford hardcore is now.
On the topic of bands, right? Those were all of like the old ones or the current ones. Now there's a current one that hasn't even hit the streets yet.
Yeah.
That you've started with Trevor, right?
Yep.
And you guys just recorded a little demo.
Yep.
In at Trevor's spot. So tell us about that. Tell us about Satiate.
Satiate.
Yeah.
Very depressing music. Really in the aftermath of Gumskab and Secret Work, Trevor and I and Ryan knew that we really wanted to keep making heavy, scary music. So we brought in our good friend Max Calkins and started working on tracks, tried to figure out what we wanted to sound like, and we knew we wanted it to be a little bit heavier than what we'd done in the past, more dark sounding, but also kind of the idea of we just didn't want to have any boundaries for what we were going to write. So we wrote a handful of songs, realized that wasn't the vibe, and scrapped them. And right now, at this moment, we've got the first release demoed out, front to back, 5 tracks, which you will be hearing. And we're really, really happy about them. We've started writing for the second release. We're going to be hitting the studio to do legit recordings October, hopefully playing shows in November, December. And we're just going to take off where Gumskab left and try and play as many shows as possible and see where this insane type of music can take us around the country / maybe world.
Yeah, hell yeah. Tell us about like the process going into that a little bit. I know I wanted to talk to you and Trevor both about it. Maybe we'll do that later, like when you guys have gotten things off the ground. But for now, is there like a system that you guys follow, or is it one of those things where it just kind of happens? Someone comes up with a riff, and then you all get together and you're...
Trevor is my downstairs neighbor. We live in an apartment building that has only 2 apartments, and it's us and our partners in the whole building. Luckily, we both do this all the time and want to just play music. So usually I'll be working my job, have riffs in my head, get out of work, text Trevor and be like, yo, let's cook. Go downstairs, I'll have a riff, and he will figure out, programming drums to it for demo's sake, and then just flow from there. And then, Max and Ryan will come in and they'll have ideas. We'll all get together and kind of have like a basis of a song and then just work it out throughout the night. Sit on it for a couple days, come back to it and be like, hey, I think this part could be this, or, we could do something a little different here. This part doesn't hit quite hard enough. But it really does kind of start out with the idea of just one riff or even like a feeling. Like I want to take this feeling that I'm having and find a way to translate it into scary ass music.
For sure. I totally feel that. I did that with this album that I'm releasing soon. Whereas like there were all of these feelings, all of these certain things in my head where I'm like, oh, like I've got to vocalize that somehow through music, right?
Yep.
And sometimes that's all you need, like this seed idea is just born out of that.
100%. If the music you're making isn't rooted in emotions, it's dry.
Yeah.
There needs to be that passion behind it to make it worth your while, because this is an outlet for all of us, like tracking some of those feelings via guitar, drums, or vocals, getting that out is a beautiful outlet and the closest thing to therapy that I've ever had.
Yeah, for sure.
There's no doubt that I wouldn't be kicking in this world if I didn't have the ability to get all of my inner demons out through this beautiful thing.
Oh yeah, and music is the best kind of therapy for that, just like writing or just like any kind of art. I feel, like if you can really tap into that creative space that goes beyond what we're experiencing here, it's alchemy, it's pretty amazing. We're lucky to be able to do that, as artists.
100%. I often feel bad for people in the world who haven't found this outlet, because you're fucking missing out, dog.
Find it. Find an outlet like it.
Yeah, doesn't have to be music, but if you can find some way to get your shit out, you're going to be living a better life.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. You and Trevor, we just talked about how you guys collaborate musically with other people. What's your collaboration style like with SVU? How do you balance each other out?
Real yin and yang kind of thing. Trevor is a digital art god. He creates all the flyers. He builds the J-card layouts for tapes for all the releases that we do. He is one of the sound people for all the shows that we do. He's also got a wealth of friendships from living in Maine and playing in New England, just like myself, for getting bands from around the area here. So the most common thing is we'll get an email or a message from one of our friends' bands saying, hey, we're doing a weekend run at this time, and we see how sick everything in Maine is. We really want to come and play Maine on one of these dates. Can you make that happen? So I see that, check our calendars, see if we don't have anything, and if we don't, I'll go to the venue, make sure their calendar's open, lock it in, and then usually it's one or two bands, and if it's two traveling bands, I always try to do two local bands, local opener, local headliner, depending on what the traveling package is, that fits not necessarily the sound, but is kind of gonna make for a nice balanced bill. It doesn't have, not every band has to sound the same. I kind of hate when I go to a show and I hear the same 6 riffs over 4 bands, try to definitely build a little diverse lineup wise and make sure that these traveling bands have a couple local bands that are going to guarantee people coming if, they're a band that maybe people don't know yet, but they're friends of ours and we want to give them a really good time here in Biddeford. We'll always try to balance it out with, some of the bigger bands here that will guarantee kids coming out and going buck fucking wild with it.
Trevor was talking about that in the last episode that I had with him, how you kind of go to shows and decide, all right, like these bands would go well together, right?
Yep.
But they don't necessarily all have to fit the same genre, right?
No, not at all. Like I said, I think it's more fun when you have different types of bands, and it comes down more to the mindset. You see a young band that's maybe playing their first or second show, like Sewing.
Do you feel it when I grind my teeth away?
band that is exploding right now. Gumskab played a show down in Worcester, Mass. a couple years ago, and it was Sewing's first show. Nick Gary and I were there, and I remember during their set, me and him looking at each other and just being like, this is it. There's something really, really cool here. We need to get them up in Biddeford. And they've been up here a handful of times. They'll continue coming up, and we put them on hardcore bills, and they're not a hardcore sounding band, but they have the mindset that is fitting to be on any type of bill. They come out, they rock, kids like them. They are wonderful, wonderful people. I love spending time with them, and that kind of mindset of just like, if we're traveling, playing shows, and we see a band that hasn't come up our way yet, and they're doing the thing in the way that they should be doing the thing, add them to the list. Go and talk to them after their set and just say, hey, this is what we do in Biddeford. We really would love for you to come and experience Biddeford.
Yeah.
And then when you go home, you go tell all your other homies wherever you're from, come to Biddeford, Maine.
Yeah. Yeah, that's sweet. So you guys also have had people from, like, over the pond, as they say.
Yes.
Come here, right?
We were lucky enough to get X Destroy Babylon here, and they're from Italy.
And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. Sir, I just want to say thank you. You saved my life.
They're some of the nicest gentlemen in the world. They really, really surprised me with how down-to-earth they were, how like-minded hardcore can be despite cultural or language barriers. We had Moral Law from Colorado coming at the same show. Another fucking awesome band. If you haven't listened to either of them, you need to check it out. But that was a really, really special moment for us to get. We've had like some Canadian bands, and they've been amazing. They always go back to Canada and tell all their buddies to come to Biddeford. But getting a band from Italy in Biddeford, and they printed a shirt with the tour dates on the shirt, and seeing that right there, seeing Biddeford on a tour shirt, which we've had happen a couple times, will never get old.
Yeah, that's
ever. It's a special thing.
That's sick. And they stayed at your house, right?
Oh yeah, they did.
Yeah.
They had a really fun time. They got a very American experience when they came through and crashed at our spot.
Do you wanna tell that story?
Yeah, why not? In Italy, guns aren't really a thing that you can get. So a band hearing about America, guns are kind of ingrained in this country for better or for worse. So I don't know, it was like 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning, and one of them was just like, hey, we're in America. We would love to shoot guns. And I was like, well, it's like 2 o'clock in the morning. 100% can't do that, but I'll be right back. So, I went and grabbed something that I have and made sure it was all cleared out and everything like that, and let them take a look at it. And one of them just immediately took it, started holding it, started taking selfies with it to send back to everyone. And that was a very funny experience to have. And then I think the next morning before they went to Boston for the next date, they stopped at Walmart for the very the cherry on top of the American experience. But yeah, shit like that makes it all more fun. Our place is where a lot of touring bands will crash at. We have plenty of space there, plenty of sleeping arrangements, and it's really nice to provide a clean, safe sleeping space, because from being on the road before, you're playing out in East bumfuck nowhere and you're looking for a place to stay so you don't have to buy a hotel, and you ask people and someone's like, yeah, I got a place for you, and you get there and it's like 15 miles down the road, all back roads, and you get there and it's like place reeks of cat piss, or you all get to sleep in a 5 foot by 6 foot floor space. And it's happened so many times, and that's just another one of those things that we're able to add to the Biddeford experience is a good, clean, welcoming, comfortable space to sleep, so the bands don't have to empty the bank account to get a hotel.
Yeah. That's really nice, to have for sure. Like whenever you're on the road and you just like need that, it's like the greatest ever. I remember there's this brewery in Vermont called Beer Naked. Have you ever?
I have.
You know exactly where that? Yeah, you know where that is. They sometimes let bands crash upstairs. They've got a whole spot up there. So when I was on tour with this country band.
Won't help you with your load. I'm rolling over to the low side of the road. 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 Of the road.
We crashed upstairs and had the beer, and we're able to just go straight up to bed after that, and there's nothing.
I love that.
Great,
Yeah.
But on the other end, I do kind of like the rough experience of staying in a place that doesn't have a door.
It makes for like the lifelong stories for sure. There's definitely a couple spots I've crashed at that would I do it again? Nah, probably not. But at the same time, like anytime any of the bands that we did that with get together, those places come up, and it's a fucking good laugh. It's a part of it. If you're not in sketchy spots every once in a while, you get a little too comfortable.
Yeah.
And it's punk rock, it's hardcore, it's disgusting. That's, a part of it for sure.
Yeah, for sure. How did you hear about X Destroy Babylon? Like, how did you get them over here? Did they reach out to you?
No, so they were doing a tour with Moral Law from Colorado.
Okay.
And Moral Law, I got in contact with them because they wanted to come play up here. Pretty sure it was through Derek from Retract. He's friends with them, and he pointed them in this direction, which, thank you. I love you, Derek. I miss you. And they said, we're doing a tour. We've got this Italian band that's coming through, and we want to show them as good of an American experience as we can. And Derek has said amazing things about what you guys are doing in Biddeford, so we want to make that a reality. And it's really just as easy as that.
Yeah, that's awesome. Well, man, thanks so much for coming on the show today. You got anything else you want to say? Like any parting words for the younger generation or anyone who wants to get into this kind of music or anything, really?
Yeah, I know. If you know me, I'm going to say the things I tell everyone. Pick up an instrument, make some flyers, start a band. Doesn't matter if you're good. Just go to local shows, see what's going on. Don't just go see big tours. I promise you, almost anywhere you live, there's a lot of really cool shit going on. And if you tap into that, you're going to find stuff that's going to change your life. Relationships, experiences that'll make your life worth living. And take that, become a part of your scene, start a band. Play fucking drums, please. Somebody play drums. We need more drummers so bad. Do that, and maybe you can be 35 like me and be a happy individual that gets to experience really cool shit all the time with the people you love. Wicked friggin' heavy, bud.